Hey everyone, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I do not have a witty opening for this week's episode, so instead just sit back, relax, and enjoy the silky smooth and soothing sounds of Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Ho! Hey folks, I'm WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and you're listening to Horrible Horror. Tough guy, so bad, it's scary.
Horrible horror, so bad it's scary. Splitting up is never okay. Plot, who needs it? Don't turn on the lights. Cars don't ever start, but that's alright. Running upstairs instead of out the door. Good acting, what do we need that for? Horrible horror, so bad it's scary. Enjoy the show, but not really.
What's up, Moon Goons? Welcome to Horrible Horror, the podcast where we watch the worst of the worst in horror movies. Movies so bad they're scary. I'm your host, Lord Marshall Hampton. With me today is my buddy, my co-host, Mr. Aaron Southworth. Aaron, how are you doing on this fine Sunday in January?
It's cold, man.
It is getting
It's cold,
now.
but I do like the cold. I'm a fan of it.
You're
but
a weirdo.
No,
You're one of the weirdos that likes the cold.
fucking Viking bitch. Yeah, no, I'm in a good place, man. Yeah, okay, all right.
All right, you're in a good place. That's all we need. That's all we need to know. This week, we are doing a movie that's kind of pertinent to society today.
Absolutely.
Because we're doing a movie called Teacher Shortage.
And there is a teacher shortage
There
going
is.
on. You know,
There is.
there's COVID-19 has wiped out a lot of employees, not just from death, but also from teachers. Well, seriously, but also teachers saying, you know what, fuck this. I don't want a whole bunch of little germ factories fucking up my fucking immune system. So, boo, peace.
It's
I'm
also
out.
not just the COVID. It's also bureaucracy, the politics of school, and all
Red
the other
tape.
shit, the red tape they have to deal with, and for
Such a
for
shit
shitty
pay.
Yeah, for shit pay.
Oh man, teachers get paid so shitty.
Yeah. And I feel this because there's a time when I was certain I was going to go into teaching. Both my parents were teachers. I have aunts and cousins that are teachers. I have a lot of college friends that went into teaching. So it's kind of a subject that is kind of close to me. And I was like, you know what? Here's a movie called about teacher shortage, about teachers and their plight. And I think, you know what? Why not?
I was a teacher.
We are. Yes, you were.
Yeah, I taught in Thailand and I taught nursing.
I forgot about that part.
In the classroom.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, all kinds of PowerPoint presentations and shit like that.
But
yeah.
that's next level teaching. We're talking.
Ooh, I'm next level,
Well,
bitch.
I mean, you're not talking like public high schools, public schools.
True.
And it's a real problem. Teachers it's a really shitty deal they're getting right now. And so I figured, you know what? Because this podcast is so political and so socially driven, that what we attack the problems that matter here hardcore. I figured this is the right platform to address this. So
Absolutely. Yeah. And because those teachers are experiencing such plight and, their pay is so low, Horrible Horror Podcast is going to do them a favor, too.
we are.
Yeah. We're going to introduce Manscaped to these teachers.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, does that mean it's time for a corporate show moment?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's got a price.
You're right, Ted. I do have a price, and I hope the price is right. And the price is going to be so nice for the teachers out there who are hurting and who have big hairy bushes. They're going to get 20% off their Manscaped order and free shipping if they use the promo code MoonGoon.
That's right. We're saving those teachers money. And it's not just teachers. Anybody out there. All you got to do is go to manscaped.com. Pick out what you'd like. It might be the performance package. It might be some ball lotion. It might be some lip balm or shampoo and conditioner. All you got to do is go there and put in our promo code, which Aaron said was
MoonGoon.
That's right. And get 20% off and free shipping of your order. And I highly recommend you check out their Lawnmower 4.0 Man Groomer. It is amazing. It's great. It handles nicely. It's smooth, easy to use. It's got it's waterproof.
Yep.
It's got a 460K LED light on it, so you can shave your balls in the dark if you want to.
If you're weird.
Or you get that taint. You don't have them shadows. It's got additional guard lengths. It's just an absolute wonderful product. I actually used it again last night. I went to town.
Touched it up, huh?
Touched it up. And it's great. I love it. I recommend it.
Yeah, my boys are still doing good,
All right.
whenever I use it. And, yeah, man, I like the Weed Whacker. I saw a Marshawn Lynch commercial. I saw a commercial with Marshawn Lynch advertise the Weed Whacker. I'm like, oh, look, a fellow manscaper.
Fellow manscapers. There you go. You can be Manscaped Brothers with Marshawn Lynch now.
Yeah, to your ears, to your nose. It's good stuff. So check it out. Go to manscaped.com. 20% off when you use the promo code MoonGoon with free shipping.
That's right. And that, my friends, is our promo for the week.
Booyah.
For now, anyway. So anyway, let's move on. Like I said, this week we're doing the movie Teacher Shortage. It was released in 2020. It's fairly new. This is kind of going back to our roots. The last 2 months or so, we've been doing some bigger budget, more known movies, which is fine. But this is going back to our old indie roots.
Yeah, and we're talking indie.
Written and directed by Troy Escamilla.
That name sounds familiar.
It does sound familiar because he also wrote and directed Party Night and Mrs. Claus.
Mrs. Claus.
This is making this his third appearance on the show. So
No shit. What was the other one?
Party Night.
Did we do Party Night?
We did do Party Night.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So that puts
See,
him
I totally
that puts him in Hall
of
of Fame category or eligibility now.
And we did Mrs. Claus with Here Comes the Spooky podcast.
Yes, the Dukes of Spook.
Cincinnati Jeff and Nachos McWerewolf. And I have here for you from Salsa Von Mummy, a.k.a. Cincinnati Jeff, a.k.a. your buddy.
My buddy.
Your birthday present.
Oh, yeah, a very belated
It's
birthday.
a belated birthday because when your
birthday.
birthday was going on, I had COVID.
Aaron did. He had the vid. He got all sick.
So he wants
there
an
you go.
on-air reaction to your birthday
my
present.
And I have a feeling I know what this is going to be. And, yep, it's exactly what I thought it was. A Halloween 3 shirt because, well, if you listen to the show, you know how my feelings on Halloween 3 are. But it says, if you think Halloween 3 sucks, and then in tiny, tiny print, it says, it's because Tom Atkins fucked your mother. So a shirt I cannot wear in the house around my daughter. So thank you very much for a Halloween 3 shirt. I'm sure it will get lots and lots of use.
I'm sure you'll wear it when you see him.
Yes.
That's what a good friend would do.
Yes, it is. Too bad I'm a shitty friend.
Yeah. Yeah, I gave you your present. You're like, okay, cool. I'm like, thanks. They're usually in front store. You're like, oh, yeah, thanks. Jesus, Marshall.
All right. So teacher shortage. Man, I'm getting some cotton mouth. All right. So let's talk about the cast real quick. We have Catherine, so even though you never even know her name, but basically we have, like I said, her name's Catherine. She's played by Horrible Horror Hall of Famer Brinky Stevens. She's in this movie.
Yeah, I saw that, and it was.
So
I didn't know how I was gonna feel about that because her Mrs. Claus performance was a little.
Yeah. So we don't need to talk about it.
Get her an unlimited plan because she was phoning it in.
I like that. So we don't need to talk. We've talked about her playing in the past. So then we have Linda, played by Tamara Glenn. She's got 32 credits, including Freddy's Nightmares. She was Samantha Thomas in Halloween 5, if anybody remembers who that was. And she's in the upcoming Friday the 13th fan film called Friday the 13th Vengeance 2 Bloodlines. And then we have the bartender, played by Julianne Prescott. She's got 138 credits, tons and tons of indie horror movies such as Motel from Hell, The Butcher 2, Clown Motel, which I think we should do that with Sarah Samples. Meat Hook Massacre 4. She also appeared on episodes of The Glades and Burn Notice. And she appeared on the show previously. Where she played Elizabeth Flynn in Scarred, a.k.a. Candyland.
Candyland. Man, are you sure she's not the boob tender?
The boob tender.
Because Jesus Christ, those honkers
we're going to be talking about those a lot later.
Because they need to be talked
They
about.
do need to be talked about.
They belong in a museum.
God damn, that's right, they do. Valerie Battles is played by Mel Heflin. She's got 60 credits. Again, mostly indie horror. She's in movies like Bride of the Werewolf, Swamp Zombies 2, It Kills. Fun fact, she was the voice of Zoe in the Left 4 Dead movie short.
The Italian one, right?
Yeah, the Italian.
Yeah,
she
yeah.
did the voice of it. And she was Angela in Mrs. Claus. So, there's another connection there. Lauren Parker, played by Kaylee Williams. This is 68 credits for her. This marks her 4th appearance on our show. So that also means she's now entered
Hall of Fame territory. What was, what do you have the, what you...
Well, of course I do.
All
She
right.
was Heather in Pork Chop 2, Rise of the Rhine, and Pork Chop 3. She was Amber in Mrs. Claus. And she's in the upcoming Don't Fuck in the Woods 2, which is still awaiting distribution, but is filmed and ready to
I
ready to
can't
ship it.
fucking wait for Don't Fuck in the Woods 2 to
I
come
know.
out. I'm so excited.
Me too. And then lastly, we have Sue Steele, which sounds like such a fucking, like, I don't know.
Very 80s sounding. Sue
80s,
Steele.
But like something like a she's like romance novel or some like stupid book character.
I was thinking like a 80s female wrestler.
Suzanne Steele. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see that. She's played by Deborah Lamb. She's got 95 credits, including uncredited roles in RoboCop and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Her part was cut from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, but she was in it. Also seemed to do some softcore porn at one time.
Atta
Was in
girl.
5 episodes of Electric Blue, which was, you know what that means.
You gonna play some David Bowie? Oh, no. God damn it. Don't. Just because you say the word blue doesn't mean you have to play that song.
Yes,
Damn it.
does. No. But that was a softcore porn show / series of movies on the old Playboy channel back in the 80s. She's also in movies like called Strip to Kill 1 and 2, Satan's Princess, Midnight Cabaret, and the G-string horror Demon Cut.
Is that a type of underwear like design, the demon cut?
Yeah. I know. Here's some fun facts about her.
It's
though.
a reverse thong. It's the slim part goes right up the crotch. The demon cut.
Fun fact, she's an accomplished dancer and fire eater. That's why a lot of her early credits are dancer, stripper, dancer at club, and fire girl.
And that's why her lips are chapped all fuck.
Yeah.
Because she's been eating fire.
She also has dabbled in stand-up comedy. She went to 11 schools in 12 years. She's named after Debbie Reynolds. Went to Beverly Hills High School, which we talked about not that long ago. Was in history class with Rob Lowe. And was a student at the Van Mar Academy of Motion Picture and Television. And was classmates with Tom Lister Jr. and Tracy Lords.
Cool.
Just some fun facts about her, because there's not much else to talk about. So,
I feel like that's such a good resume. She'd be a better actress.
you would think so.
Yes.
You would think so. It just said she attended. It didn't say she had high marks or was top of her class.
Right.
All right, so let's go right in. The bell's ringing. It's time for class. School's in session. We open in a full high school classroom. All the kids are sitting around talking and gossiping, except for one girl who's slightly overweight and wears glasses. She sits at her desk reading, keeping to herself. This scene lingers on like a stinky fart from Chipotle that just will not go away. It just goes and goes.
Are you calling me out because I just farted in here?
Well, not really.
I didn't have Chipotle. But yeah, man, this scene does drag on like way too long. And all these students look about 25. Most of them look like they're not.
Yeah.
When I first saw it, I was like, okay, college. My first thought.
I mean, there's one girl who has braces on and stuff. But yeah, I guarantee they're all at least 18 or older. But yeah, you're probably right. Eventually, after like what feels like 10 minutes of watching nothing, the teacher comes in, and once he settles on the class, he says, "Hey, the yearbooks have come, so come on up and get yours." The kids bum rush his desk. They all grab the yearbooks.
Like a pack of fucking animals.
Rabid dogs. They return to their desk. They start flipping through it, which that's just a shitty thing to do as a teacher. You don't hand those out at the beginning of class, because you hand that shit out at the end of the day. This is exactly why you don't hand these out at the beginning of class, because now no one's paying attention. They're all about the yearbook, Now your class, your prep, and your lesson plans are gone to shit.
And then you're going to find out one of the girls has her fucking name wrong.
Yep, because this one random girl looks back at slightly overweight girl with glasses and goes, ugly skank. And the whole class starts laughing at her and calling her ugly skank. Teacher does nothing about it. We see in the yearbook that under her picture, instead of her name, are the words ugly skank.
Yeah. What a zinger.
Yeah. Side note, I don't know if Aaron picked up on this too, but I guess it's because I'm a glutton for these shitty movies and punishment. I did notice that the picture of the redheaded guy next to ugly skank is the same guy who plays the jock character in both Party Night and Mrs. Claus.
No shit, I didn't because it was quick. You know, they didn't linger on it too long. Of course, I was reading Ugly Skank.
Yeah.
And I only watched this movie once.
Yeah, lucky for you. So anyway, quote unquote, ugly skank girl runs out of the classroom down the hall to a bathroom where she hides in a stall and cries. We cut back to the classroom where we see like a different girl, kind of the bully girl, I guess, talking to some
she
guy,
did it.
her boyfriend.
She pulled the prank.
Yeah.
She got the name in there.
She's like, it was me. I did it.
The ugly skank knows what she did. She's an ugly skank. It's like there's no rhyme or reason. They're just being horrible people for the sake of being horrible people.
Yeah, you never see any background on this. And she just says, well, there's a lot of people who worked on the yearbook, so they're never going to be able to trace it back to me. I'm going to get away clean. We go back to the bathroom where quote-unquote ugly skank is standing over a sink filled with broken pieces of mirror that we assume she broke because it's just broken glass.
Her hand's bleeding, yeah.
She picks up one of the larger pieces and uses it to just slit her own throat. She kills herself in the bathroom at school. And
it's hardcore, man.
That's it. Yeah, that's the opening of the movie.
It's a hardcore way to kill yourself. Jagged piece of mirrored glass slitting your throat on the toilet of a bathroom in the high school.
Well, she wasn't on the toilet.
Well,
but
she was whatever. Come on.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, in the bathroom.
Gotta step on my game, dude. Shit.
We cut to a few years later, even though they never really tell you this until later. That's a few years later. It's just
yes.
You might as well think it's the same day or something like that. They just cut away.
There's a reason I actually looked at this and I was like, wait a minute, how because one of the teachers talks to one of the students and goes, "Oh, girl, your outfit's on fleek." Yeah. And I was like, wait a minute, hold on, because the yearbook said 2009, 2010. I was like, was on fleek a thing there? I looked up Urgent Dictionary because I was so pissed. And on fleek wasn't used until 2014, according to Urban Dictionary. It wasn't canonized.
I didn't notice the date on the yearbook. So what year was this?
2009, 2010.
So it technically the opening took place 10 years ago. That's weird.
I mean, well, we still don't know when. Well,
the
hold
yearbook
on.
Was 2010. That means she killed herself in 2010.
And later on. There's definitely something that tips you off. It's at least 2016.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, so we cut. It just we know it's a few years later. We never get an exact number or year, and they don't even tell you this till later on. But this is what happens. And we meet two teachers, Mr. Ryan Billings, who's kind of the main guy, who is played by Chris Jennart, who apparently had a small part in Killer Unicorn. And is the musician and singer who is part of and tours with the largest boy band tribute band called Larger Than Life.
I guess so.
We also meet a female teacher who has pinkish reddish dyed hair, whose name I just don't know. And not that it fucking matters.
It doesn't matter.
But dude, I swear I thought that was Kayla from Miss Claus, the Amazon, the giant one. But I don't think it is.
It's not.
I kept looking at her, and I tried looking up the cast. Don't get me wrong, not that hard, but like looking up the cast while I'm watching on my phone, and it's like they don't list the entire cast in like IMDb and stuff. It's like it just gives you like a piece.
No, you have to click like. Yeah.
I know, but it was just like, man, fuck this.
Yeah.
It was just such a pain in the ass. But it wasn't her. But boy, it was close.
Yeah, you're right.
She's a thick piece of woman.
They chit chat Billings and says, "Hey, I'm on my way to I guess my teacher review with the principal." He leaves. On his way, he passes another teacher, Linda, like I said, played by Tamara Glenn. They exchange some pleasantries, and she is never seen again. So seriously, she's never seen again in this movie, and she had like 3 lines of dialogue on screen for less than 2 minutes, and this chick got 3rd billing in the opening credits. right behind Brinky Stevens, who was top billing, followed by Deborah Lamb. And then this girl, who's on screen for less than 2 minutes with 3 lines, got third billing. That's some crazy fucking shit.
It is pretty crazy.
That's fucked up. And it's not like she's a big star. I don't know who the fuck she is.
Now, what does she look like again?
She's just the older blonde lady that stops him in the stairwell for a little bit.
All right.
Anyway, so Billings gets to the principal's office where we meet Michael Perry, the principal. They talk about scheduling Ryan's review for Wednesday, and that the two of them, and then they're like, okay, we'll get on the books for Wednesday. Yeah, sounds good. All right. And then they just start making out hardcore and heavy.
Whoa!
Just straight up man French and right there.
Man on man action.
Yep.
Hey, right on.
Yep. Ryan ends up stopping it, saying that, hey, we promise to keep things professional here at school. They make plans for a weekend date, but Ryan tells him that he has this professional development and dinner this weekend with his fellow teachers, which is hosted by fellow teacher Sue Steele. They kiss some more before it cuts away. We cut to Brinky Stevens, who's sitting in her classroom, meeting with an angry, bitchy parent about her son failing class or something like that. Anyway, the scene's fucking pointless, and we just cut to our main group of teachers in a meeting talking about grading policies and school bullshit.
And these scenes go on for a while.
Yeah.
That Brinky Stevens scene, they're talking about these scenes. It's dragging. This movie right off the bat,
Yeah,
it just feels like you're just slowly being pulled over rocky terrain by Jason Voorhees, and you're just going, there's nothing you can do about it. You just got to deal with it.
Yep. That's a pretty accurate way to describe this. So they're sitting in this meeting. Apparently this school has only like 7 teachers in it because
well, this is the English department.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yes,
I missed it. I thought this is all the teachers.
It's just the English department.
Okay. So all right, well, I'll move on then. Ryan finally enters, takes his seat as one of the teachers, played by Mel Heflin, the girl who licks up the toilet water and fucks a black dildo in front of her sorority sisters, and then uses that black dildo to kill the head sister before hanging herself from a tree in Mrs. Claus.
Doing the Running Man?
Yeah. That's
Sorry.
her. She starts talking about how it's these stupid policies and all this that make her want to quit teaching, and this is probably going to be her last year in the field. Lauren, which is funny, Lauren, the girl she killed with the black dildo in Mrs. Claus, announces that she just got engaged. So the meeting ends with Sue reminding all of them about the teacher's development dinner at her place tonight, and she expects all of them to be there. We cut back to Brinky Stevens leaving the school, and God, is she looking weird now? She does not look.
She's just old.
I don't know. I don't know if it's her eyebrows that look too fake or something weird about her. I don't know.
She's just old. I mean, I guess you're...
Yeah, but so is Elvira, and Elvira's still smoking.
Well, she's a fucking anomaly. All right? You can't keep... That's unfair. That is unfair to compare just about anyone to Elvira, because she's 70, and of course I did it.
Yeah.
Jesus. She is still hot as hell. That's like weird alien technology or something she's got going on.
It's that black magic Elvira dabbles in.
Dude, I don't know what it is. She made a deal with the devil, the boob devil.
The boob devil. Anyway, so Brinky's slowly walking to the parking lot to her car. Realizes, oh no, I don't have my keys. I have to go back. So in she goes back to her school.
Oh, then we watch her walk all the way there
back.
And all the way back.
She gets back to her room, finds an apple on her desk that has a picture of her that's been pinned to it by a knife. So it's like somebody stabbed her picture into an apple with a large knife. Funny thing about that picture that I noticed is that's the exact same picture I found that we use on our website for her Hall of Fame entry. I've seen that picture before.
Marshall, are you threatening Brinky Stevens here?
Oh, yeah, you're
man.
on to me.
Dude, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
I didn't notice that.
It's the exact same picture that's on our website.
That's funny. If you haven't gone to our website, horriblehorrorpodcast.com, check it
There you
out.
go. Ding, ding. So she looks around the room, sees it's empty. She looks for her keys. She still can't find them. She opens the door to leave, and that's when suddenly all the lights are out. all the lights go from on to off, and she gets stabbed in the arm by a sharpened wooden ruler.
Yeah, this was weird. So she opens the door to leave, and the lights get out, but it's like a blue-red filter. There's blue-red light and kind of a sting. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm going to start saying Azul instead, all right? The Spanish word for blue. If you have an Azul song, you can play that all you want, goddammit. But, yeah, she opens the door. All of a sudden, the lights change, and there's like a very much John Carpenter-esque musical sting. Like, pew! The music isn't bad. This is the one thing I think the movie has going for it, sorta, is the music. The music is pretty good. It's synthesizer, it's good, and when she opens the door, the lights change, and it kind of reminded me a bit of Creepshow. Like the different, like whenever the killing was about to happen, it'd get like this crazy colors and like a comic book-esque kind of background. But that was an anthology, and it was based off a comic book, and they would do stuff like this. Now, this was that weird choice.
It's a really weird choice.
It was a really strange choice, and it's just a theme throughout the entire movie. Like, whenever the killer's going to come out, the lights change, and everything gets weird. That doesn't always get... Don't you... I see your fucking finger. There's lots of reds. I'm glad you're amused. I'm sure none of our listeners are.
Yeah, so Brinky retreats back into her classroom, which... Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Like, she goes into the classroom, the lights are back to normal again. Like, some lights are still working.
Yeah, she closes the door, locks it, and she's quiet.
Yeah.
She's just like...
So, after a moment of silence, nothing happens. She opens the door, peeks out, and now all the lights in the hallway are back on.
Here's the thing that kind of, like, weirds me out.
Okay.
She opens the door, gets stabbed, is able to close the door just in time and lock it. Bam.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're talking school doors, and they're usually pretty thick and heavy. So this guy probably isn't going to be kicking the door down or anything like that. And isn't even trying.
No.
So she's safe as could be in that room. We've already seen her, like in that teacher conference she was having, of her using her cell phone and texting people.
Why did she just cough her
Why didn't she just use the fucking phone?
That's genius. I can't believe I've overlooked that because I guess I was too lost in this movie's stupidity with the lighting fiasco to even think about that.
But it was just like, okay, you're locked in, you're safe.
And you were just on your phone a minute. Yeah, call for help, call the police. Yeah, exactly. Boom.
I mean, they didn't even like attempt to show it. You know, like, oh, my battery's dead. You know, coming up, be like, okay. But this is the fucking even if it was 2009. You know, you'd still be doing that shit. So
that's a beautiful.
I was not happy with that.
Great point. Yeah, she should.
Because she only waits about not even 30 seconds after being stabbed that she's like, well, I guess he's gone. I'm gonna walk out the door.
She creeps down the hallway stairs and starts to head down the stairs, but sees her attacker standing there.
Not yelling for help, not crying, like, help me, is someone there? No, nothing like that. She sees the killer, and there's a flash of red. Like, whoa, there's a flash of red, so we know that the killer's there, and she runs away, and then everything's back to normal lighting.
Yeah, I just another messed up thing about the Zoom is Brinky, all lights are on when it comes to the killers, holding the ruler, all the lights are off again, except for some red lighting. And then back to Brinky upstairs, and lights are back on. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's real weird.
Like, I originally was gonna think like I thought just like I didn't know if this was at this point I thought it was just shitty continuity. Like, this is just really really bad. Now I was gonna play my amateur clip here, but more as I was going through, like, this is just a weird.
This is a choice.
A weird choice they made. This isn't a continuity. This is a weird fucking choice. Brink goes into the men's bathroom, hides in a stall. We go back to the killer walking, and we see him wearing like a graduation gown, bathed in red light. Someone enters the bathroom, shakes the door to her stall, and then just leaves. And it's just the janitor.
I wish, and I want to see. This is such a like cliche scene. It's like you're hiding in the toilet stall. You're sitting on the toilet so they can't see your feet. And somebody walks up to one stall, and like you see the feet underneath the stall. Always. I would love it to stop at the one next door, get inside, and be like drop their pants like. And have the person like hold their nose, still trying to be quiet. Come on, I can't believe no one's done that.
Yeah, I'm sure someone's done that somewhere. Probably like one of the spoof movies that maybe, but yeah, exactly. Like,
It seems like such a layup.
Yeah.
I can't. Well, let me put it this way. I can't believe I haven't seen it.
Yeah. I think that's probably. Yeah. I agree. Like, I'm tired of the whole person comes in, shakes the one door. I'm like, oh, I guess we'll just leave now. Like, not like figuring out why this why is this one door locked?
Yeah, and
or
it's
if you're in there peeing in another stall or shitting somewhere else.
It's the
just walking out.
And then back to the movie. Of course, it's the janitor, right?
Right.
So the janitor he comes in and he shakes the door and it's locked. He's shaking it and it's locked. He doesn't say anything like God damn it, stupid kids, or like because he's got to get in there. He's got to clean. He's got to do his fucking job.
The thing is, he doesn't even do that. He walks in, walks right up to her door, shakes the shit
it
out, and turns on, just leaves and the bathroom and just pushes his mop bucket away. He doesn't even go in there to clean. He's like, hey, is anybody in here? I need to unlock this door. He doesn't try in the other stalls. It's her door. It's locked. He leaves and just gone. He doesn't come back in to clean. He just fucking leaves. So why was he even in there in the first place shaking his stall door?
Here's a funny thing. When he walks out and he's pushing his mop bucket on out, he didn't bring his mop bucket into the fucking thing.
No, he didn't.
No, he just magically has his mop bucket now.
He just walks in, shakes the door, and walks out. That's all he does.
And magically then has a mop bucket.
Yeah. It's pretty pointless and yeah, it's dumb. So we follow the janitor and he spots some blood on the floor. This is another thing that pisses me the fuck off right here. He sees blood on the floor. He bends over, wipes his fingers through it, then rubs his fingers together while smelling the blood and says, "Damn messy kids." What the fuck? Are you kidding me? Like, why does he think it's like ketchup or something? What the fuck? Everyone knows what blood is when you see it. He even touches it and still doesn't figure out it's blood. You're talking about cliches. I'm sick of this cliche. Like, you don't like to see blood like, oh, messy kids, and like just walk away like nothing's happened. You see that, oh shit, that's blood on the floor. It's fresh blood. Someone's hurt.
I didn't mind it because it was like a small drop.
It was not that small of a drop. It was like a puddle.
It was not a puddle. It was a small drop.
It was not small, but it wasn't a big puddle, but it was more than a drop.
It was a drop of blood. I'm not going to freak out about it.
It was more than a drop.
Some girl forgot to use a tampon, Marshall. There could just be a couple drops on the floor. It's not like it's going to tip you off that there's a murder happening.
Oh, he went there. Okay.
It's Texas. It's hot. You got short skirt on. You forget to use the tampon. You're a heavy flower. Yeah, you could have a couple drippy droppies. Poor girl.
Oh, God. That makes me even sicker that he smelled it then.
It's good for him, man. Kind of jealous.
God, do we have a talk off air?
No. Just go for the gross out factor. Just trying to be gross. I think I did it.
So... Oh, I lied about that joke doesn't work anymore, so we'll move on. Brinky exits the bathroom, and as soon as she opens the door, she gets instantly killed by getting stabbed in the mouth by the sharpened wooden ruler.
And we get like a purpley, reddy light flash again. Yeah. Yes!
Yeah, it's red, and maybe another color.
No, it's not. It's more of a purpley red.
Yeah, but what colors make purple? Red and...
Oh, Jesus Christ. Azul.
I
don't like this threat, Marshall. I don't like doing this under duress.
Yeah, she opens door, bam, wooden ruler shoved down her throat. She's fucking dead. And she has this ridiculous look on her face when she dies too. It's almost comical the way she's moving her eyes. I was like, I can't do it. You can't see what I'm doing, obviously, but it's really freaking silly looking.
And there goes Brinky Stevens.
Yep. Again, top billing in the movie for less than 5 minutes, has all of like 3 lines when she's talking to an angry parent. Killed dead within the first 10 minutes of the movie. Top billing. Like, Jesus Christ. Must be nice to, have that rest of your laurels from it's a long career, but are we really going to call it a great career? Like, outside of indie horror, nobody knows who you are. Why is she getting top fucking billing over the people who are in like the entire movie?
I don't know, man. Sorority babes and the slime ball bolorama sits high on my shelf of horror movies.
All right, so we cut to Sue Steele's house where she's preparing for her big dinner. Her husband leaves for his bowling league night, so he's out of the picture. He's gone. As John, one of the other male teachers, arrives a little early. John's kind of like the grumpy teacher who hates how pussified kids and parents have become nowadays. And I kind of like John.
Yeah, because he's about our age. That's why you like him.
We cut to Valerie now. I said played by Mel Heflin. She's getting out of the shower. She wraps herself in a towel. She gets a phone call from her boyfriend, which isn't important. Then gets dressed for the dinner. And that's when she hears her car alarm going off in her garage. She goes to turn it off. Then heads to the kitchen and takes a shot.
And this shot here, when she takes the shot, it reminds me so much of Vince Gilligan and like Breaking Bad, because the camera is through the bottom of the shot glass. You see the drink be poured in, and then she takes it and you see all the you see all the journey all the way from the counter all the way to her big old lips, and then downing that shot of like I guess vodka. Yeah, there we go. That's much better than other songs you play.
So I will say that one.
That was a cool
camera angle was
so I'm kind of starting to see him flexing his cinematography muscles here
a little bit.
We got even though we don't agree with the choices of the lighting cues whenever the killer comes out, it's a choice. It's a cinematography-esque choice. And the
that has nothing to do with cinematography. That's just a weird lighting choice.
Well,
but yeah,
fair enough. Come on, man, come with me. And and then the following the shot with the camera, I'm like, okay, we might be in tune for some kind of cool camera work here.
All right. Confused and a little concerned, hearing the car alarm will go off again, she goes back out to the garage to check on her car.
Her Kia Soul is fucking up.
She turns off the alarm. She walks up to the car to look inside, not seeing anything suspicious. She turns around to go back inside, and that's when the killer pops up in front of her, armed with a pair of scissors. Again,
I wish
the
to
bullshit
God
lighting goes on here.
I wish to God it was a big black dildo. So we could have that Mrs. Claus
that
throwback.
connection.
Man, that'd be so awesome.
That would have been hilarious if it was a big black dildo. Okay, I talk more about the lights, but we're going to move on from there. I did make a joke about, I thought the killer was a mutant with the power control light switches at will, or that he's the killer from Dead by Daylight, because all you see is a red light on him everywhere he goes. But we'll move on because it's a choice they made. Anyway, Valerie ends up, she scrambles into the car where she thinks it's going to be safe inside. But the killer just opens the back door and then stabs her to death in the back seat.
Yeah, now this is where a little bit of continuity gets a little screwed up with the choice. Because it's all bathed in red light, and then when he goes to stab her, they show the scissors going into her body, and it's regular lighting. You can see the white dress with the flower print. So it's no longer red, and then it cuts back to red, and then it cuts to her face, and she's red. But when they go back to the stab, it's in regular lighting.
I guess because they want to show the
blood
on the
but
white dress.
it's really distracting.
It is.
It's really distracting. These different flashes of light that are happening. It's like, what's happening?
I think the whole choice is distracting throughout the whole film. This weird.
I totally agree.
To me, it's a terrible idea.
And if it's done right, Creepshow, for example, nails it. They fucking kill it with that type of stuff. It's cool. It can be fun, but this isn't, and because it's like you got to be a little campy, a little fun. It's maybe a little more, not necessarily hokey, but more fun. I guess you could do that. But this movie has zero humor in it, like no levity. It is so dry.
Zero humor in this movie. Yeah. That is a great point. I forgot. I didn't
it can be done, but when you're making a somewhat serious or non-humor horror movie, you can't. It's weird to do
a movie
that.
Like this called Teacher Shortage. Like this movie is begging for like some campy humor and cheese.
Yes,
and I think they had a great opportunity to do that. They just they went real serious, and there's no humor in this. I don't think there's a single joke in this whole movie.
There's a couple things I laughed at.
Yeah, but unintentionally. So yeah, the killer just opens the back door, stabs her in the back seat. She's dead. We cut back to Sue's house and the big dinner. All of our teacher characters are sitting around the table now, drinking red wine, That's really obviously like red Kool-Aid or Hawaiian Punch.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, what the fuck kind of wine are they drinking?
That ain't wine.
No.
That ain't wine at all. We learned that Ryan is a newbie first-year teacher. Sue wants everyone to go around the table and say why they all got into teaching. And they do. And again, this whole dinner scene again is just so
drags on, and it doesn't tie anything into the story.
It does not.
It doesn't tie anything in the story, and it's not even character development. It's just we're just watching people bitch or roll their eyes at this party they're going to be at. We don't get any insight to their character or why they became teachers even mattered, or even any red herring stuff. No like leads. Ooh, maybe they're the killer. Oh, maybe they have an issue. Nothing. It doesn't have anything whatsoever to do with the killer and the story of the horror story that we're trying to watch.
1000%. It's just here for filler, the runtime, I guess.
Yes.
The closest thing to any kind of character development we get, and it's not even development. It's just the girl with the reddish pinkish dye job. I just call her dye job. All we learn about her is that she's kind of like a younger but overly chipper, super teacher. Like, I love teaching. This is great. Blah 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 blah. The perky. I'm a one teaching. And then the guy I'm about to Brant is kind of like again, he's a younger guy. Probably he's supposed to be in his late 20s, early 30s. He's kind of like all we get from him is he's the lazy teacher who only got into teaching because of summer vacation.
And he's a cool guy.
He's the cool guy.
He's the cool
I
guy
want the
teacher.
kids to think I'm cool, but I'm really only here for my summer vacation time off.
Not a bad move.
Not a bad, yeah. So that's really all you get for character. And then John's the gruffy, older, burnt out teacher. He's like, yeah. So anyway, Lauren, like says, Kaylee Williams or Lauren wonders at this point why Valerie isn't here yet. He's like, maybe I should call her, but they don't. So again, they never even mention. That's the one time like she even comes like, Valerie's not here, guys. She's late. Maybe we should call her. No, okay. Never again do they question, where's Valerie? Why is she not here yet? They sit around and talk for a while, and I do mean a while. John and Brant. They end up talking about how horny all the female teachers are at their school, and like how easy it is to fuck them, and like how the librarian's all hot and horny, and you can just it's a weird. I think they're supposed to be their one attempt at humor, and it's written really bad, and the acting delivers it. It's
executed even poor.
Yeah,
it'd be funny to like do some jokes about how hot female teachers are fucking their students. That's a great time to slip in those jokes because you see that happen a lot, and where's it happen? A lot of it, Texas and Florida. So, dude, it's so weird when you see hot teachers fucking like 15-year-old students.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, God damn it, where were those teachers when I was a kid?
Exactly, like damn
Jesus, I'd even take an overweight 50-year-old, but I just needed to fuck anything that moved when I was 15. Where were you?
Yep.
You let me down.
They're apparently all in Texas and Florida.
I guess so.
So Sue brings out the first course salad, and at this point I had to mention, because we've talked about the weird lighting choices so far in this movie, but this isn't lighting. Sue for some reason looks like a fucking Oompa Loompa. She's just orange. It's not her whole body. It's like just her face is orange. You can see distinct. Her neck is white, hands are white, her face orange, and she's the only one that is this. And it's wildly distracting and weird.
Melissa would talk about how that foundation is not blended. It's not the appropriate skin color for her. It's not blended correctly. And former leader of the free world Donald Trump also did the same thing.
Yeah,
had that orange fucking face.
Orange face. Yeah, like it's so weird. Like, why would you do that? You would think you have a makeup artist on set or in the camera. Like, wouldn't somebody catch this? Like, dude, why are you a fucking orange?
Maybe she's a hardcore Republican and just wants to celebrate.
Maybe. I don't know, man. It's so distracting. So weird. John gets up to go smoke, but Sue wants him to stay and play a team building bingo game. John at this point says, I'm retiring soon, so fuck your team building, and goes outside to smoke. That's probably the best line in the movie. Yeah,
but it's not even like funny. It's just kind of like, oh, he's an asshole, but like, I get it. So you're kind of like, okay, but there's no humor.
No.
And I think this is supposed to be a funny moment because her bingo is based off of like literary terms.
Yes, it's literary term bingo.
Yeah, so that's supposed to be the joke, and it's just goes over as well as a Chipotle fart.
Yep.
Bringing it back to Marshall's weird comment earlier.
There we go. So while outside smoking, John starts hearing shit like someone lurking in the bushes or something. He goes out, have a look, and as soon as he starts to walk around, he's just instantly drunk. Inside the house, he's fine. When he's smoking, he's fine. But as soon as he takes a step to go look around, he's instantly stumbling and drunk.
Yeah, he is a lightweight.
Yeah.
Unless he was doing a little bit pre-gaming.
Not finding anyone, he goes back inside, takes a swig from a wine bottle. He says, it's time for him to blow this joint, accompanied by the mimicking of sucking a dick gesture he does. Sue refuses to let him drive home after drinking and forces him to go sleep it off in the guest bedroom. Before he goes, he grabs a bottle of Red Tail wine or Yellowtail,
which is like gas station wine.
Yeah, it's gas station wine.
Yeah.
And takes the bottle with him to the bedroom. So John enters the guest bedroom, lies down on the bed, and pretty much instantly gets the old Kevin Bacon treatment, that being impaled from up underneath the bed by a machete through the stomach. John's dead. That's his death. Done. Doesn't look good. I mean, it's
no, it looks horrible.
It's badly
because
done.
it's they just splattered blood on his face. They have a close up of them stabbing obviously something else.
Yeah.
And wiggling around. He's like, there. Mm-hmm. Yellowtail.
We go back to the rest of the group sitting around the table. Everyone decides to call it a night at this point. Ryan gets a call from Principal Ass Pounder telling him to meet him at the small local bar nearby.
That's homophobic, Marshall. Principal Ass Pounder? Come on.
Well, am I wrong?
You should apologize.
I'm sorry?
I guess. I don't know.
For stating a fact? I don't know.
I don't know. It was just weird.
All right. He's gay. He talks about fucking Ryan, and yeah, I mean, he's an ass pounder.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
And he literally says that. So, anyway, so Brant and Lauren leave the house together. Brant asks her if she'd like to hang out with him for a bit longer. The two of them go to have drinks in his car. Inside, Sue asks teacher a dye job to go check on John while she chit-chats with Ryan before he leaves. Meanwhile, Brant and Lauren are chugging vodka straight from the bottle while talking and starting to bond a little bit here and there.
Yeah, he invites her into his car for drinks.
Yeah, for drinks.
He's like, I got drinks in the car. I'm like, what the fuck's he got, like a little bar set up? I'm expecting to see like something flip down or like
the James Bond person, the bar flips out of the glove box.
Yes, or maybe have like the drinks in a can, like a Moscow Mule in a can, or like a rum and coke in a can. Nope, he's got a giant bottle of 3 olives.
Yeah.
Vodka, and they're just taking pulls off the giant bottle of vodka.
Yep. Classy
motherfucker right there.
Yeah, it is. So
dude, that shit didn't even work in college. You know, how's this gonna work as an adult? But it works.
We cut to Dye Job taking a piss with someone banging on her bathroom door.
And she sounds like she's fucking draining a hose. Jesus Christ. Her pisses. The gaffer was having fun with that one. It's so
the Foley artist?
Yeah, thank you. Just fill in a fucking pool. You got a heavy stream, that one.
Again, it's kind of a pointless scene because nothing comes of this, so I don't know why they threw it in there.
So we get a gag from hearing her pee like a fucking horse.
We cut away again to Ryan hugging Sue and saying goodnight, and he leaves. Dye Job, done pissing, goes to the guest bedroom, and as soon as she opens the door, we get the same old shit.
The red light.
And then the killer pops, like runs up behind her, stabs her through the ear with like a stick or something. I don't know.
Can't really tell because it's so close up.
It's so close up, yeah. And he wedges the stick in there so far and hard that it punctures through her soft,
wet eye hole.
Yeah, it does.
Popping out her eyeball. And we also see for the first time, besides the graduation gown, the killer wears like these long black gloves that seemed to go all the way up to his elbow or something underneath the gown, and this crappy like white mask with black horns, like a white. I don't even know.
Yeah, but it's still very sick. Like you can't really quite get the details of it. But you're right.
Yeah.
It's like a white mask. It looks like there's horns on it.
There's definitely horns.
And
white
he's
mask
wearing
with black horns.
Yeah, he's wearing his breakfast at Tiffany gloves.
Yes.
And and he has his hand over her mouth, which I liked. I was happy about that because she does like because Brinky Stevens didn't scream. Old boy didn't really scream.
Brinky really couldn't have screamed.
Oh, that's true.
But John should have been screaming. He would not have died instantly from getting stabbed. That would be like, oh my God!
Yeah, exactly.
He should have been screaming his ass off on that one, but did not.
He was drunk.
Yeah, but still, I'm thinking even I don't care how drunk. I'm still probably going to scream my ass off. I'm going to get stabbed to the stomach.
Sober me up pretty quick.
Yeah, with a machete. So we cut back outside where Brant is now getting a blowjob from Lauren, who remember just about 15 minutes ago in the meeting announced that she's fucking engaged.
But dude, a couple pulls of old 3 Olives and
apparently that ring came right off.
Yeah, man, just need to slob with a little knob.
Brent finishes in her mouth,
Attaboy.
which she seems totally okay with, by the way. But as soon as she swallows, then the feelings of guilt instantly hit her, and she can't believe she did what she did because she's just got engaged.
So wait a minute, you have girls that are repulsed when you come in their mouth?
No.
Okay. Well, yeah, she's a pro, man.
I'm not saying I'm saying it's funny that. Okay, here my point is that. She starts crying a bit, feeling all terrible about what she did. But I'm like, fuck this bitch. Because here's what I'm saying: you had plenty of time to stop sucking that dick, but you didn't. I love this. Is what I'm saying. She didn't feel guilty or bad till after she'd done swallowed in his load, but not during the whole time she had the cock in the mouth. Even though she's just got engaged to her man.
Well, you know what his load is flavored with, right? Regret.
Well, here's the thing. I bet she loved it because he was so smooth and well kept. Because Brant uses the Lawnmower 4.0 by Manscaped.
And he probably uses some of that crop preserver, keeping his boy smelling good.
That's right. Order yours today at manscaped.com and get 20% off and free shipping. Unlike her lazy, hairy fiance, Jeremy, don't be a Jeremy, be a Brant.
Get a blowjob in a car.
Get your Lawnmower 4.0 today.
That gets 3.
That gets 3.
Wow.
Brant comforts her a bit and offers to drive her home, but she's like, oh, okay, fine, drive me home, whatever. Back inside, Sue drinks some more wine, hears shattering glass sounds, gets up to go investigate.
Okay, we're also talked about the lighting.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the lighting in the fucking house and how it's been almost a goddamn cave ever since the goddamn movie started? Almost all the lights are out as soon as the first guest arrives. I mean, it's so dark.
Yeah.
It's not like mood lighting. It's like they just have more than half the lights out in the house. It's like they're getting ready for bed, and you turn off most of the lights, but you need 1 or 2 on to kind of like clean up or do whatever you need to do. But it's like that the entire time.
Yeah, you'd think it's almost like they're about to start an orgy in there. It's this mood lighting,
but not even mood lighting. No, it's not even moody.
You're right.
It's just dark. It's like, oh shit. Well, I still gotta feed the cat, so I'm gonna leave that light on for a little bit. While I go to the bathroom. It's like that's what it is. Yeah, that's it's another good point. Yeah, it is surprisingly dark for a dinner party. So. She calls out for John and Dijab, whose name at this point I finally learned is Alice. But, like I said, it doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. Right. She sees a broken glass on the floor. She grabs the broom and cleans it up. And while she does that, the killer replaces the papers she was reviewing with a copy of the yearbook we saw in the opening of the movie. She gets back to her paper. She looks at it and sees a bloody handprint on the page that has Ugly Skank's picture on it. And that's when the lights go out. I think I had a side note on this one too. But as I mentioned, the picture earlier, the picture to the right of her is the redheaded guy from Mrs. Claus and Party Night. But then I noticed the picture on the left is the Asian girl from Party Night too. It's the Asian girl from Party Night is also in there as well. Yeah.
So anyway, this is the point. All the lights go out and the red lights come back on. She drops the book, rushes awkwardly down the hall.
Real awkwardly.
Real awkward.
She looks like my toddler when she's just like excited. Learning.
Yeah, I think it's just a problem. I get at some point, these people, you're trying to get some kind, I guess, name recognition with like breaking scenes, but at some point, I mean, this is kind of what happened, I guess, when you're casting like 80-year-old actresses trying to have them be physical and do stuff. Like, just stop.
Yeah, but you can still move quickly.
Yeah,
you don't have to run like a toddler. Just move quickly from one point to another point. You know.
So she spins around. Sorry. She's rushing down the hall, calling for the She spins around and is face to face with the killer, who swipes at her again with something, but I don't know what. Misses. Sue runs away back down the hall. She runs into the guest room where she sees the dead bodies of John and Dye Job lying on the bed
with a red flash.
Red flash. She turns to run, but runs right into the killer, who just stabs her in the chest with I don't know what, but it's small and skinny, kind of like my dick.
Oh, that's weird. Brings a whole new term to Marshall stabbing his wife.
I don't know what he kills her with. It's just so. It's almost like a pencil. It's the size of a pencil.
It's an ice pick.
Maybe an ice pick's bigger than that thing. You know what it kind of looks like? It's a little longer. It doesn't have the. It looks like one of those like a meat thermometer. Like it's like that skinny, long and skinny, like a meat, but this doesn't have the thermometer head on the top of it. I don't know. It's a weird fucking weapon choice, and I don't know what it is.
Yeah, and those long, skinny, like puncture, like an ice pick-esque type of.
Yeah, but
you have to go to fucking town.
Yeah,
you know, it's not just one and done unless you hit the sweet spot, and it has to be a sweet fucking spot. You know, it's not like because he's like stabs her and she's dead.
Yeah, so again another shitty fucking kill. We go back to Brandt driving Lauren home, and she gets a text from her fiance saying that he's basically getting off work early and is on his way home. She freaks out about this. All of a sudden, it's like, "No, my God, you gotta take me back to my car right now. He's on his way home. I gotta get my car." I'm like, okay, I don't, whatever. So it's just a lame excuse to get him back to the house. And Brandt's like, fine, whatever. So he takes her back to Sue's house. Lauren gets out Brandt's car. He drives away. Lauren goes to her car and for some reason goes to the passenger side of the car instead of the driver's side, which is an odd choice. I don't know what that is about. But oh no, she drops her keys. And as soon as she stands back up from picking them up, she gets stabbed through the back with a pitchfork.
A pitchfork.
A fucking pitchfork now, which is, again, based on all the other murder weapons we've seen.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
It's like, no, it says which one of these things does not belong here. That would be it right there. A pitchfork.
It's like, where did he get a pitchfork from?
Yes.
You can understand the other weapons because they're pretty small and you can maybe have them on your person.
Yes.
But a goddamn pitchfork is like, 5 feet tall at minimum.
Yeah, and it's not like they're out in they're not out in farmland or farm. Or
they're in the burbs.
They're in the fucking burbs, suburban area. But yeah, fucking pitchfork. She gets stabbed through the back, coughs up some mouth blood. We haven't done that in a long time.
We get red light, flash of the pitchfork, and then all normal lighting of her throwing up mouth blood, and then back to, red light, and then back to normal light. Yeah. It's like bang, 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 bang.
It's just nauseatingly annoying bad. And it's like discombobulating. Like,
yes.
It's just too much. It's like, pick one and stick with it.
Yeah, it's discombobulating is a perfect way. If they just left it red the whole time during the killing scene, all right, fine. But when you're flipping back and forth, it's really distracting.
Yeah, it sucks. We cut back to the little local bar where Ryan is sitting at the bar waiting for Principal Ass Pounder Michael. Michael. Michael enters, joins Ryan at the bar, apologizes for being late, but he says, like, I was working the basketball game and a fight broke out.
Honestly, I kind of like Principal Ass Pounder. That's pretty funny. He did talk about pounding ass, so I'm like, all right, that's pretty funny. And this is where you can tell that it was at least 2016.
Yes, because, well, I think I have it later, but if you're talking about the the decor at the bar.
Yes.
Because they have Trump stickers. They have a Ted Cruz sign.
Texas was with Ted Cruz sign.
They have Confederate flags up.
That could be any time period.
That could be any time period. But yes, the Trump Ted Cruz signs are very noticeable.
Definitely the Trump one, because Trump was 2016. So I'm like, okay, it's at least 2016. So that gives me at least some sort of time.
That could still be modern day Texas. There are Republicans down there. They could still be behind Trump. Who knows?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I mean, it's been at least 2016 because no one had a Trump sticker before 2016.
That's true.
Yeah.
So at this point, we get to the bartender, and this is where I say we have to talk about the bartender because she is by far the hottest girl in this movie, and goddamn, her tits a sight to fucking behold. Those beautiful boobs could be used as a life-saving flotation device, and I just want to live in her cleavage.
I think they could bring people back from the dead.
They are that magical.
It's incredible, and she's got this the movie Clue. She's got this like Mrs. White kind of haircut.
Yeah.
It's just like all black, straight, but like a bob with like the window cut, like the bangs kind of.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, it's doing it for me. She's like real, like alabaster skin with these tats and everything.
Oh yeah, she's tatted up.
I'm just like, dude.
And she's wearing just like this black bra with like a little white wife beater tank top, and it just their tits are overflowing. It's like
just
overflow.
I'm like, God bless America. I'm so glad there's people like that out there. I'm just so happy. I'm like, ugh, you make me want to drink at that Republican bar. Politics be damned. I'm going. Dude, that place is awesome.
Titties are bipartisan.
Absolutely, man. I think that's something that can breach the divide.
Titties, I've said it before on the show, titties will bring the world together.
Yes.
People will come together over titties.
And they will. Oh, my goodness, those are fantastic.
Yep. The power of tits, man.
Grand old party. Right
on. So we find out that sexy tattooed bartenders also, get this, guys, an elementary school teacher who bartends as a side hustle to make ends meet because their teaching job doesn't pay enough.
So that's like
can
the
you imagine
one.
If that was your teacher in grade school.
Grade school would be wasted. High school, it would be a dream.
I would have failed. I don't think I would have heard a word she said. I'd have been staring at them tits all day, every day. I'm like, what? What's due when?
They're fantastic. But this is the one time in the whole movie they just flirt with the notation of teacher shortage and like her having to get a second job and low pay. And this is like the one time they kind of touch on this subject, which is very topical right now.
Yeah.
And it's a new movie. So you think it would be they would at least dip their toe a little bit deeper into this pool than just, flirt with it.
Yeah. I had some notes in here. I'm trying to scan them, but I do have notes about this. Most of the writing of this movie is pretty bad, and that's probably why they didn't get too deep into it, but it is the most pertinent and meaningful part of this movie, this dialogue when they're talking about how she has to do this job basically to make it pay, otherwise she'd be living paycheck to paycheck, that she doesn't make enough teaching, and that people who bartend here full time make more money than she does teaching. And
there could be at least a touch of social commentary. I mean, you don't have to get all fucking weird. Well,
I think this is just a touch. Like, it's the smallest possible touch you could have and still call it a touch, I think. But they at least try to mention it. So I'm like, okay, that's good. I'm okay with that. So Ryan and Michael, at this point, they're talking about their relationship. Michael seems to want to keep things on the down low, however. But Ryan doesn't want to have to do that anymore. He wants to be open about the relationship. But they can't do that unless one of them left their school. And that's not fair to either one of them. Michael's like, hey, well, you're putting the cart before the horse there. I like you a lot. But let's pull the reins. But hey, the schools are also becoming more open about this kind of thing as well. Anyway, they talk about this for a while. They end up kissing some more, but they get interrupted when Brant enters the bar.
I did like that scene. That's actually one of my more favorite scenes in the whole movie. Is there like the teacher and principal scenes? Probably the best scenes in the movie. Honestly, as far as like dialogue spoken back and forth, it feels a little more natural. The acting's a little more smooth. It's not as like, hi, my name is Brinky Stevens. I'm your teacher. You know, it's not so rough. It's pretty smooth. And the thing I like is I could totally relate to the principal. Like, I've had girlfriends be like, where is this going? It's like, girl, we've been fucking for like 3 weeks. Who the fuck knows? Calm down. Well, I can't keep doing this. Like, fine. I'm going to keep drinking. You know, so I can kind of relate to him. Like, whoa. Slow your roll there. You know, you're not the fucking queen. Let's calm down. Jesus.
Yeah, I find it weird. Like, you're kind of right. Like, the scenes between Michael and Ryan are probably some of the better scenes in the movie. I still think the bartender is the best actress. She's by far, and it's not just the tits.
Oh, bullshit! It's just her tits. She's not that great an actress.
No, and that's saying something about this movie because everybody else sucks. But it also I pointed out that the people like Brinky, she barely talks, but Deborah Lamb, Sue Steele, who have like over like hundreds of credits and all this vast, are still like terrible actors on screen. She was terrible in this movie.
I wonder. Because we had the same issue with Mrs. Claus. I wonder if the director had the balls or the courage to say, hey,
you suck.
You got to do it like this. You got to bring it up a notch. Give me another take. You know, like I wonder if they're just like, ooh, it's dealing with Brinker Stevens. Oh my God,
she's
a
minor. She's kind of famous.
Yeah, she's C-list celebrity.
Yeah, oh no.
So I'm curious if that was the
that's
issue.
An interesting. I didn't think about it that way, but it maybe. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's a possibility. Brant and Ed joins them at the bar. They all share some drinks. Then Michael excuses himself and he leaves. Ryan and Brant hang out. They talk over beers, and this is a fun conversation because this is interesting.
Yes.
Because this conversation is where we learn that this movie is in the same cinematic universe as Mrs. Claus.
Like down the street, too.
Because Brant actually talks about the events of Mrs. Claus happening while he was in college. The same college where Mrs. Claus happened, and that he was on the football team with one of the guys who got murdered, that being the redheaded guy who we saw in the yearbook. He even mentions that the girl who survived the murders was found murdered herself a year later. I'm like, okay, interesting.
And the music totally changes.
Yes.
They're in the bar and the background music's going. It's like some country music or something like that. And then all of a sudden we start talking about the Mrs. Claus murders. It's like goes to that John Carpenter-esque synthesizer. Yeah. And I'm like, whoa, we have to pay attention to this. Oh, this is the Mrs. Claus murders. Yes. That's awesome.
It's crazy. So yeah, we now have a Troy S. Camellia cinematic universe where these movies are connected. But makes me wonder then, if Mrs. Claus and this movie are connected, how is Party Night connected? Is it the same high school that the kids were at that went to prom? If that's the case, did the redheaded guy, Jock guy, have a twin brother that was murdered in both movies?
Yeah.
Because he's in both those. He gets killed in both those. He's in the yearbook in this movie. This is a tangled web I'm very fascinated by all of a sudden. I want to go down this rabbit hole of this weird, shitty, independent cinematic universe now and see how everything's connected. So, where was I? Anyway, it's a pretty good conversation between them and the bar, and then this is where they talk more about the teaching problems. And this is again one of the better conversations, how teachers in society and they vastly underpaid and underappreciated, and blah blah blah. But it's not bad. So at this point, the bartender heads to the back. She's like, I'm going to the back. Sorry, clean up. If you need anything, just holler. While the guys finish their drinks. As she's washing ashtrays.
A fucking mountain of ashtrays.
Mountain of them. I've never seen so many ashtrays.
And it was so funny because I was like, oh, ashtrays.
Like, they still have those in bars? Like, you're allowed to have those in
bars?
Texas,
baby.
Texas? Yeah, it's Texas, I guess. So she's washing ashtrays. The red lights come back on. And this is weird because it's not like.
It's so funny. It's almost like she notices red lights are on.
It's like
all of a sudden she's washing shit. Red lights come on. And she's like, hey, why is it red in here?
Yeah. It's exactly because all the other ones, just like people don't react to the red light. It's like the killer shows up and it's red light. This one, the light's red before the killer shows up.
Yes, it just turns red, and all of a sudden she's like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
So does the killer have a light set up behind him?
Yeah,
like, okay, here I come.
That's what I said. Or is he like immune to like powers that make red light or something? That's exactly what I was saying.
I think it's better if he like sets it up. He's like setting up lighting. He's got tripods and different gels, you know. It's like, okay, I'm gonna use a little bit of purple in this one.
But basically, she where is it? She looks up, sees the killer, says like, "Who are you?" And the killer just stabs her in
Soft, wet eye hole.
again with like a straw. I think. I seriously think it's a straw.
It looks like a straw.
Yeah.
It looks like a plastic straw.
Yes.
You know, it's. I wish they would have done something like. If it was a straw, you know, it'd be a fun setup. You know, it'd be like, you know, say she served a drink. She served a rum and Coke to the principal earlier. And he goes, "Hey, can I get a straw?" She's like, "Yeah, you got to ask for them now because everyone's all in the fucking environment. And well, we got at least, you know, people bring their metal straws. I got a bunch in the back. Here's your straw. You know, boom." Then he could say metal straw, and then he could use a metal straw. I don't know. Maybe I'm doing their job for him. But it looked like a goddamn straw.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
But if it was a metal straw, that would make sense.
That would make sense. Anyway, so she stabs her in the eye, and then he stabs her in the stomach with a large kitchen knife, twisted around a bit, killing her. She's dead.
Boo!
Yep, boo.
Boobs.
Yeah, how dare you?
Boobs!
Those boobs do not deserve that.
No.
Ryan excuses himself to go to the bathroom. And for some reason, I don't know why, but as soon as he walks into the bathroom, it's all lit up in blue lighting in the bathroom.
Yes. Dude, Marshall's just looking at me on the eye, like, dancing like an idiot. Like, God damn it.
Yeah. All right.
You were just waiting.
Yeah.
Just
for that
giggling.
one.
Giggling and burping. You've been burping a lot on this one,
Sorry.
dude.
I'm trying not to on that.
It's kind of hard to miss.
I apologize 100%.
I kind of like it. It's kind of it's like, just talk. Like, I don't understand how burps can slip out when the pace you're talking, but they do. I'm like, this is amazing.
But yeah, it's weird. Like this is the one. Like every other light in the bar has been normal. It's fine. But then the bathroom lights are just blue. Like,
Well,
I didn't get that.
I know
at
it's
all.
at CBGB's.
And it's not the killer light. It's not the red killer light. It's just blue light.
It's
in the
like they just
bathroom.
have a normal like at CBGB's they have a green light. You know, when you go into the bathroom, which is kind of cool. It's creepy, you know. But oh man, one of the creepiest ones is when I went into the CBGB's to take a piss, and it's blue, and I was getting ready to leave, and there's a big wanted or have you seen this man that's on there, and it's a drawing of Bob from Twin Peaks, and I was like, oh shit, that's creepy. But you haven't seen Twin Peaks, so I digress.
It's funny.
I keep mentioning these shows that you've never seen.
I'm laughing my ass. I hope Nachos hears this and laughing too, because Nachos and I met up and went for drinks Monday night, and I don't know how we got into it, but we literally both end up bringing up the topic that you will bring up Twin Peaks every chance you get. Like every chance you get, you try to drop Twin Peaks, and I'm like, oh my god, he just did it again.
I mean, you're not wrong. That's really funny because I haven't. Now when I think back, I'm like, yeah, man, I said that a lot. I like Twin Peaks. If you haven't figured it out, so maybe you should watch it.
Brant gets up, looks for the bartender. As he turns a corner, he gets a fucking meat cleaver buried in his face. He's dead.
Because
just so quick. It's so fast.
It is so fast. You just see a flash of meat cleaver coming, and all of a sudden it cuts to his face. Like, you know.
Just big meat cleaver stuck in his face. And you can tell it's like the big, like,
plastic
ones that they use to, like Night of the Dead, Friday the 13th, that old movie.
Like the kind you buy at your
Walgreens or I almost said a Kmart. They don't even exist anymore.
They don't? There's no more Kmarts?
I don't think Kmart's anymore.
I don't pay attention to that shit. Target for life.
Target. All right, so Brant's dead. Fast, easy. He's gone. Ryan, at this point, returns to the bar. All is quiet. He calls out that he's leaving and goes to the door, which he finds is now locked. Which, if he's on the inside, he should be able to just unlock it and leave.
Well, that's exactly what I thought too. But I looked at the door handle, and it is one that
I didn't see the door handle. So okay.
Yeah, it wasn't like a push bar, even though it was making the push bar sound effect.
Yeah,
and I'm like, he's not pushing on a bar, you know, like when you're.
But even if it's the
it's
inside,
just a handle, and there is a keyhole right there. So you could get locked inside, from what I could see.
Okay, maybe, but most of those I would assume would be a deadbolt or something that you'd be able to just, open from the inside. You should be able to get, but anyway.
And again, this is like a shitty old bar.
Yeah.
So they have weird quirks and crap like that. So I'm okay with it.
So he wanders around the bar looking for the others, and then he finds both Brant's and the bartender's dead bodies piled up in a corner. The killer walks up behind Ryan, but thanks to the mirrors, I guess, Ryan sees this happen and just turns around to face the killer, who pulls out a large black axe and starts to advance towards Ryan.
And this is where we see really close and clear the outfit that he's wearing.
Yeah.
And it's like a red
It's red.
Graduation.
It's a graduation gown. Red.
But it almost looks cloaky. But yeah.
It's not a cloak. It's just a graduation gown.
And with the black gloves and it's like a headpiece. Or
I think what it is.
Like a hood.
It's not even a hood. I think what it is, because I noticed this too at this scene. I think he's wearing like a full black bodysuit.
Yes.
With a full on like gimp suit or something like that. It's not leather. It's like a black bodysuit, complete covered, and then with a red graduation gown and the mask on top.
Yes, that's exactly what I was getting to. Yeah.
Okay.
And it looks weird.
It looks really weird.
And I'm like, okay, most mask killers, there's some significance or aura or story behind their mask.
Yeah.
Or something to tie it to it. Like, for instance, in this purpose, I would imagine what would be a fun one to do is the school's mascot.
Yeah.
Something like that. That seems like an easy layup. But the fuck is this supposed to be?
Yeah, I first is this like some asshole made like shitty art class, like this paper mache? It's a terrible looking mask. But
I didn't mind the mask. I didn't think it looked that bad.
But it just looks weird. There's no like cohesion to the whole outfit.
There's just nothing to it.
Yeah.
Like you could even say like, what if you talked during the English, meeting about a story and the masked man? And it's just something to tie it back to the story, because it just seems like that's so common, and it's fun. I like to know a little bit about the fucking mask. It's cool.
No, I agree. And there's been a lot of like school slashes we've seen, but they do that. They use the mascot outfit or something related to the school. Yeah, 100%. And they did that in Varsity Blood. It was the mascot, like the Aztec or something like that.
Happy Death Day to me. Also, the baby thing.
Yeah,
the
weird baby mask.
Yeah, it was fucking weird.
And then I saw another killer school slasher. I forget the name of it. I think it was called School Spirit. It was a Hulu special a while ago, and again, I think they had the school mascot or something.
I just wish they had something to tie it back. That's all.
I 100%. It's a weird looking killer outfit. Very little cohesion.
It's a unique looking outfit.
It's unique, but it's not.
And
great.
that's why I think it deserves a little more, insight.
I saw another movie. It was about like a college reunion where the killer wore a graduation gown too. I don't remember the name of it, but anyway. So the killer has the axe. He's advancing towards Ryan. Ryan runs for the doors again, shaking and banging on him, screaming for help. The killer closes in behind Ryan. He runs off again. The killer takes some swings at Ryan, but misses, hits some bar stools. This leads to a small cat and mouse bit, and and they end up doing like ring around the bar. One on the one side of the bar, the other on the opposite side, and it's kind of back and forth. Can't really get. Ryan makes a break for the back, but gets grabbed by the killer, who bangs Ryan's head, slams up against like the side of the wall or like the door frame, excuse me, knocking Ryan out cold. Blackout. Ryan wakes up at the bar, his head on the bar. He's in a bar stool.
It looks like he's just gotten
He looks like
he's been drinking too much.
Yeah. He looks up. He starts crying when he sees standing behind the bar, chugging a beer, wearing the killer's clothes, is Principal Ass Pounder himself, Michael.
Bum, bum, bum.
I don't really think there's any big surprise in this one.
No, it was because you've basically limited all your characters.
Yeah.
Everyone's gone. So I was like, okay, who's the killer now? Oh, duh, it's the principal.
This leads to the big bad guy exposition dump with Michael saying that it was not supposed to end this way. If Brant wouldn't have shown up, I could have just taken care of him tomorrow. I do like you, Ryan. I like you so much. I liked you enough to fuck you, but this was not the ending I had in mind for us. Michael rambles on about how teachers today are a bunch of entitled, petty, self-absorbed, harmful pieces of shit. This leads him to tell a story of how his sister was bullied to death in high school, which happens to be the same high school that they work at. Michael blames all the teachers for not interfering and stopping the bullying, that they did nothing to stop the bully kids, even though they even thought it was kind of funny and joined in, according to Michael. So he decided to go into education so he could do some good, but nothing changes. Teachers don't change. Bullying still happens, and people turn a blind eye to it, but not anymore. Not in his school. So instead of killing the bullies, he's going to kill all the teachers.
Yeah, that's a weird... It's a really weird, kind of lame reason.
Really lame premise. It's really lame.
Like, it's a stretch.
Like, go kill the teachers that were at the school when she died, maybe? That makes sense. But, like, all these teachers weren't... Well, we don't know. Sue would have been there. She's old enough and freaky. But, like, most of these people, like, weren't even there. As far as we know.
Yeah,
Because it was years later. And none of them talk about this incident throughout the entire movie.
Right.
None of them, it's never brought up again.
No one talks about it. No one seems to be making fun of their students. Mm-hmm. They say like a couple like off the cuff comments like, I don't want to fail my students because I don't want to see them next year. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
But that's that's a very common thing to say. You know, that's just a dumb joke. Mm-hmm. No one says like, "Oh, did you see, Susie and her fat ass? She smells." And
exactly.
No one said anything like that whatsoever.
Nothing.
And it's like you're trying to make the teachers likable too, except for maybe the drunk fat guy one.
John.
All the other ones are relatively likable.
Yeah.
And then you're saying this does not play.
This is horrible premise. It's horrible writing, a plot point. It's really bad.
If you made the teachers assholes, that would have been way better.
If you showed them like secretly like making fun of the kids behind the scenes,
or letting bullying get by, like
that scene where with Dye Job and the one girl said, "Girl, your shirt's on fake." Girl, where'd you get that? The dumpster or something?
Right, exactly. Instead of encouraging her, yeah.
But every point he makes here doesn't happen in this movie at all. Even the teacher in the very beginning in the movie, in the classroom where the girl kills herself, she even says at one point that guys that wasn't very nice or something like that.
He does smirk and laugh a little bit, and then he says that was completely uncalled for. Blah blah blah. So that was the only
the only thing. So you want to kill that
one guy?
Yeah, you want him dead? Fine, kill him to make your point. But all these teachers have nothing, as far as we've seen, had nothing to do with that. Weren't even there because Ryan and some of these teachers are like new. Brant was relatively new. He's too young.
Right.
So it's like this whole premise is just doesn't make any sense.
Same with Blowjob Girl. Same thing.
Yeah.
Pretty young. Yeah. Relatively. Same with the girl who got killed in a Kia Soul. Whatever. I forgot her name.
Yeah. Character name.
They're all relatively young.
Yes.
Can't have been around that long.
Yeah.
Except for old Orange Face and Drunky McPen Drunk
And also,
Pants.
Principal Ass Pounder is super young to be a principal.
He's got fucking full sleeve tats too. Did you see his makeout scene? He's got a long sleeve shirt. When he's doing his makeout, he's holding his face it's like you can see tats.
I missed
like
that.
On his wrist. I'm like, dude, he's got to have full sleeves.
I missed that part. So anyway, so that was his whole bad guy exposition dump. At this point, Ryan has heard enough. He smashes a beer bottle over Michael's head and runs away. Michael grabs the axe, goes after him. They end up in a back storage room. Michael gets Ryan cornered. They fight over the axe. They both have a hold of it. Ryan lets go, which causes Michael to stumble backwards, which then Ryan grabs a shovel, bashes Michael upside the head with it, causing Michael to crumple to the floor. Michael then rolls over, sees Ryan standing over him with the shovel, and says, "You're so fucking sexy." And then Ryan just thrusts the blade of the shovel down into Michael's face, splitting his skull open like a coconut.
Not a bad effect. They did it right. They showed it real fast, and they didn't linger on it until you can tell it was a coconut or something. It was okay. I was like, ooh, gruesome. Right on.
Ryan then drops to his knees and starts crying. Blackout. Roll credits. Now, there is a mid-credit scene here. We go back to the high school. Ryan is letting out one of his classes, wishing them all a good summer. So we now realize it's the last day of school. In comes Linda, a.k.a. Tamara Glenn, the blonde teacher we saw for like 30 seconds
there she's
earlier.
back.
She's back. She apologized for not talking to him sooner, but wanted to make sure that Ryan's okay after everything that happened before they leave for summer break. He says he's hanging in there. She rambles on and on and on. And god damn, this is a long post-credit scene. It might as well be its own fucking movie.
I know.
Anyway, near the end of her fucking speech, her Gettysburg Address or whatever, which is shorter than this scene, I think.
Longer than that. Well, yeah, sorry, you're right.
The
My
scene
bad.
is longer than Gettysburg
Yes.
Ryan turns his back because he's like from a closet. He turns his back to get some out of a
closet. Yeah.
And when he does, she pulls a large knife out from her purse, raises it above her head like she's gonna stab Ryan. But he spins around and he's now holding a gun on
Gotcha,
her.
bitch!
Gotcha, bitch! And says, "Nice try, Mrs. Perry." Blackout. Roll credits. That's the end of the movie. Now, for those who might not get that, because it's only mentioned one time, Perry was Michael's last name, so this is supposed to be Michael's mother, which is weird. So Michael's the principal at the school. His mother still works it as a teacher? That's weird. And they only say Michael Perry once. I don't think they even say his name. I think you see it on the door of his office as Michael Perry. Otherwise, this would make zero sense to why this is a thing. Like, why is she trying to kill him?
So, okay, that it's supposed to be her son.
I'm guessing because she's like 70
She's
or
old.
60s at least.
Yeah.
He's like in his early 30s,
Yeah.
late 20s.
Yeah. Okay.
And he says, "Nice try, Miss Perry." So it would have to, I can't imagine it'd be his wife. And since we saw her in the hallways earlier, it'd have to be another teacher.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just weird that she should be principal.
Because
he's well, you don't see many principals that are 30. It normally takes a while to work your way up through administration to become a principal.
you can, but it's hard. You gotta have like a pretty good education and like be good, like
very few and far between. She should have been the principal because she's older, and then he could have been like the teacher, and she's the principal or something. Like that would have made more sense.
So, did you watch all the way to the end? Because there's one more scene.
Is there?
Yes.
Then I missed this one because I saw this one. I'm like, okay, I can't imagine. I put it on fast forward, but I guess if there is one, like the time, like it fast forward like 10 seconds. I guess it skipped over that one last thing. So all I saw was just black in the credits.
There's a final scene. There's a last scene.
I missed this. All right.
Yeah, and the reason I did this is went all the way to the very end is because you guys missed it for Mrs. Claus.
Okay.
They had a final scene at Mrs. Claus. If you remember, I talked about that on the podcast. Where because it says it kills the girl, and you don't see anything. You just hear a garage door open and Mrs. Claus. And a garage door open, a car pulls in, and then the guy goes, "Oh, did you have to get blood all over the inside of the car?" And then that was the end of the scene. Like, it didn't even show you anything. This one, there's actually an end. There's a mid-credit scene and an end-credit scene.
Okay, I missed that.
In this one, it's in a living room, and it's looking at like a table against the wall and a picture. And in the picture is Principal Ass Pounder and his mom, or I guess the mom character, but they look more like a couple. He like has his arm around her, and they're like cheek to cheek. It doesn't look very mom sonny, but it could be.
Maybe they're going for a creepy mother-son relationship.
So they're slowly moving in on this picture, and then a black gloved hand reaches it, grabs the picture, and slams it down. Roll credits or end credits. That's the end. That's the end.
End it. No, I totally missed that.
Yeah,
I totally missed that one.
Man, that's twice. You missed out.
I legitimately even like, you know what? I gotta check to see if there's anything else. And I hit the fast forward to skip through the credits, and I guess my fast forward.
Aaron wins this week.
Just jumped it. Like I can't believe I missed that.
So there's.
So maybe.
That's why I was like trying to figure. I was like, okay. And
I was wondering why is this so complicated? Like,
yeah, I mean, I was just like, okay, but it just the picture didn't seem like mother. I mean, it could be. It's not out of the realm, but they're like standing by a big tree where they're like cheek to cheek, like a hugging like cheek to cheek. I mean, maybe it could be some fun, but it just looks.
I would think it'd have to be like going for a creepy mother-son relationship.
It looks more coupley.
But if it's couplish, that's weird too because he's like 32 and she's like 68.
Yeah, but he's also gay and he might be trying to hide.
And he's gay too. That's right.
He might be trying to hide it, and he's like, "Well, I'll just get a beard," and maybe that's
I don't think he's trying to hide because he's the one who's like, "I want to pound Michael," and like, I don't care to school.
Yeah, you're right because he's talking about schools being more accepting. He's like, "Yeah, dude, let's do it."
Yeah.
So yeah, it's weird.
It's fucking weird now.
Yeah.
Real weird. All right. Anyway, that's the movie. Let's move on to this week's favorite kills.
Don't act like you didn't love it. Favorite kill.
All right. This movie is kind of lame when it came to that. So I kind of have mine already. Aaron, what are you going with for this week?
So, pissing like a racehorse girl with the dye job, getting stabbed through the back of the head and having her eyeball pop out into your face. That was fun. I was like, okay, good. Yeah, we're doing it. We're getting gruesome with the kills because the first couple kills before that were just like stabs to the gut. And people are like, dead. It's like, boo, oh, it sucks.
Yeah, they're really lame.
Yeah, like the throat slit in the toilet was lame. The guy with the yellowtail wine getting stabbed was lame. The gal in the Kia Soul getting stabbed was lame. And then I'm like, okay, I see a trend happening here. But then all of a sudden, wham! Eyeball in your face. Good deal. I'm in. I'm like, cool. I like that one. That was my favorite kill.
Well, wake me up before you go. Yeah. Because I too am picking dye job, eyeball popping.
Nice.
Well.
All right.
I didn't have a wham sound bite queued up for that. Anyway, but yeah, I agree. Everything else kind of sucked. It has to. That was the one that actually took time and effort on. Second round would have to be, I guess, Principal Ass Pounder's head explode at the end, but it's so quick.
And you want to say boobs too, the boob tender, but it was confusing as to what was used to stab into her eye.
Straw, and then she just got stabbed, another stomach stab, anyways. But it's gotta be a dye job. All right, so there we go. Let's move on to this week. Let's move on to the odds and ends.
Just when you thought it was over, here comes the odds and ends.
All right, ratings. IMDb gives it a 4.9 out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah. Rotten Tomatoes, it's not on the site at all yet. Amazon gives it a 3.4 out of 5. Plot keywords I skipped over this week because there was just nothing there, and I sometimes get tired of doing that one. Trivia, nothing. This is go real quick this week.
Well, I felt like we kind of got all the trivia out. All the connections with Miss Claus.
Well, that's not really trivia if it's in the movie. But.
Well, it's if you're not someone who watches these horror movies, true. That story that's told. Oh, it's in reference to their other movie.
Yeah,
so that's still trivia.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping. I'll go back. I was kind of hoping Michael then would, or not Michael. Brant said he was connecting this. I was hoping Ryan was going to somehow connect to party night. He said, "Oh, well, my high school on prom night." Like I was waiting for that, but he was telling some like almost kidnapped story, which had nothing to do with the end.
I like that they connected the two movies there. I just I wish they did a little more then.
Yeah,
if they connected, that's cool. I like that.
It also means that Brinky Stevens has a psycho twin sister then too.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to necessarily link Brinky. Maybe that's good that they killed her so quick, too. Yeah. It's because it's like, hey, we got her back. Let's just kill her because people might start asking questions if we're making this connection. But I like that they made the connection, and I really hope they go forward if they continue to make movies to keep it in the same universe.
It would be an interesting, like a horror MCU type thing.
Right. Well, they kind of do that with The Conjuring and that stuff.
Yeah,
I've never seen.
Just sequels, so they're not like their own independent movies.
But Annabelle, isn't that part of it? And The Nun, isn't that part of it?
The Nun's not part. I don't think The Nun's part of it. I haven't seen The Nun, but the Conjuring movies are all based off Lorraine Warren, loosely based off the Warrens, who were paranormal investigators and all that.
I haven't seen.
And they I think worked on the Annabelle case, but then like the other ones I think are just made up, keeping the Warren characters were just making up. I think they're just making up like sequels of this
crazy make-em-ups.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I think that's what it is. So like I said, trivia, couldn't find anything. Budget game, no budget game. Couldn't find anything. We know it's going to be low though, but I couldn't find anything. So that brings us straight to Mortal Combat.
At the end of this day, one shall stand, one shall fall.
Good versus bad, right versus wrong, light versus dark. In the end, when the dust settles, who will be left standing after Mortal Kombat combat?
All right. So there are 47 total reviews so far on Amazon. 43% of them are 5-star reviews, with 22% 1-star. Kicking things off with the 5-star side, we have Tim O'Donnell, the Celtic critic.
We've heard of him before.
I think we have.
Yeah.
It's a rip-roaring bloodfest centering around the effects and consequences of bullying. That begins with the suicide of a young high school student, ends in a complete slaughterfest. For some reason, he decided to capitalize every single word. Not every letter, but every word is capitalized. It takes an outstanding cast of professionals to make this oddly transformative flick flower to fruition, and this sparkling crew delivers the goods. This may be short on teachers, but teacher shortage possesses just the right amount of blood, action, and frightening fun. 5 stars.
Celtic critic on crack.
Yeah. That's some onomatopoeia. You just got learned. From Chronos, spelled differently than how you would. I love this movie. It was very well written, and edited. I enjoyed all the actors. They did a great job. I got an 80s slasher feel from it. What a great title as well. 5 stars.
I'm getting tired of people saying it's got this 80s slasher, 80s slasher, 80. Really? No,
it did not give me 80s vibes at all.
But so many people fucking say that.
I think they just, like, for some reason, if it's a slasher movie,
all of a sudden it's an 80s
slasher.
Yes, yeah.
You know what? Scream is a slasher, and that came out in the 90s. And
it's very 90s.
Yeah, and still just the new one came out. Halloween is still going. They update. It's still a slasher, but, I mean, God, just because it's slasher doesn't mean it's 80s. That's people got to, like,
make
learn
the separation.
To separate that thing. Yes, some slashers do a good job of capturing the 80s slasher vibe, but not every slasher automatically means it's an 80s. I agree with you. It's that people gotta let that learn the difference there.
All Scotch is whiskey, but not all whiskey is Scotch.
There you go. Same with bourbon. All whiskey is bourbon. All bourbon's whiskey, not all whiskey is bourbon. So yeah. From Amazon customer, great horror film. The camera work by the DP was amazing. Highly recommend. 5 stars.
Bleh.
Bauman book reviews. You're a little out of your league. This isn't a book, buddy. But if you're looking for a fun movie with good acting, check this out. I enjoyed it a lot. 5 stars. Bauman book reviews. Stick to books. From Arturo. What a fun movie. It reminded me of old indie 80s slasher film.
God damn it.
The lighting was very cool when the deaths happened, and they were very inventive, too. It was great seeing Brinky Stevens in the movie also. 5 stars. All right, last one from Braden Norton Spingola. If you're majoring in English, you might reconsider a career in education after watching Troy Escamilla's newest horror film, put together a group of high school English teachers, a killer with an extremely creepy mask, and alcohol, and you've got teacher shortage. The blood and gore plentiful, and as are the abhorrent performances by this award-winning film's cast. From the first beat of music to the last, you'll be sucked into this menagerie of murder. After seeing teacher shortage, the amount of awards and recognition being received is not surprising.
What?
Yeah, the film won Best Director feature for the Crimson Screen Horror Film Fest, for which it also received the nomination for Best Special Effects.
What?
The film also won Most Memorable Villain for the Something Wicked Film Festival, for which it received nominations for Best Female Actor in a Film, Brinky Stevens.
What?
Which is sad because she barely speaks. And Best Male Actor in a Film, Chris Jenner. I have no doubt Escamilla and his cast and crew will receive more nominations, wins, and recognitions.
Hey, Marshall.
Yeah.
So I'm putting together like the best horror podcast like award ceremony, and I think we're going to get nominated. And guess what?
What?
We won.
We won.
So we are.
Hey!
are an award-winning podcast. I'm going to say best host, Aaron Southworth. Best player of blue, Marshall Hampton. How about that? See, he does it great, ladies and gentlemen. And again, he's doing that stupid look. It's so bad.
Yeah, enjoy it. Soak it in. Soak it in.
That's award-winning right there. That's what that is.
Also, a side note for this one, this guy, Braden, cut and pasted this exact same review on IMDb under a different name.
Well, someone's a friend.
Moving on to 1 star from the movie guy.
All right.
He's back. The film opens 2010 with a girl being bullied and then kills herself. Some years later, teachers are being killed in the same school by a mass killer who gets around rather quickly. This is a low-budget trauma wannabe type of film. Some of the sound had background noise. Brinky Stevens, who is top billed, plot spoiler, is the first to die. Not on screen very long. The killer has a long rant against teachers, which become boring, not well acted or scripted. 1 star. And just like Movie Guy, or Brandon, Movie Guy also cut and pasted this same review on IMDb under a different name as well.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Movie guy's like, I'm not fucking around. Letting people know.
Yeah. From Giant Squirrel. Tedious, boring, fat, ugly people killed over what seems like a year. Do yourself a favor and skip this entirely. Boring kills, boring people, utter waste of time and money. Bad guy projected out from early on. Just a mess. 1 star.
That was harsh but fucking funny. Ugh.
And from Eliza, she writes, need my money back. Disappointing to watch. 1 star.
Giant Squirrel. I want to see some of your other reviews, bro.
So that was pretty much like all of them. There wasn't much.
Yeah.
So, all right, who's winning this battle this week? And what side are you falling on?
It's a bummer because I liked Mrs. Claus, and I think I said it was so bad it's good, but it didn't translate this time around. I'm gonna say so bad it's so scary, so bad it's scary.
So bad it's scary.
Yeah, it was, the pacing was horrible, just horrible. You know, it drug on, and the scenes drug on. There were scenes that went on for 5 minutes or longer that had nothing to do with the story whatsoever. It didn't move the story forward. So
you did say good on Mrs. Claus.
Yeah,
I just looked up.
It's upsetting because I liked Mrs. Claus. Okay, don't get me wrong, it wasn't a great movie, but it was still like fun, or like it was okay. It was okay. But yeah, this one just didn't. We already talked about it so much. The choices of the lighting that was being used, weird. I don't know if that was not a good move. It wasn't a good move. There was no humor, no levity whatsoever. No characters that you're kind of like, yeah, kind of like, hey, it's a kind of fun guy or a cool girl or whatever. None of them were like that.
Yeah.
Because we go back to Mrs. Claus, the dumb jock. You hate him at first, but towards the end of the movie, you're like, this guy's pretty fun. He's kind of funny. He's all right. And none of that. You had none of the charm from Mrs. Claus. Kind of a stinker. Boring. And I think that's the thing that sucks to say, is that it was kind of a boring movie. I was just like, I kept pausing every once in a while, like, oh, how much longer do I have to watch this? Yeah, so bad it's scary. Now the good things, because again, I hate dumping on indie movies, because you fucking made a movie, good for you. I'm happy that people are doing this. The music was pretty good. Now they use the same music over and over and over again, but the music that they did have, it was pretty cool. The synthesizer stuff, they had good stings. Things like that. It was cool. I like that. I don't have much else. That was good. Music was great. That was the one fun part. And I did like that it was in a universe. They
established a universe in this movie. Yes.
Which is cool. And old girl from Mrs. Claus gives some dude a Hummer, which is funny. Okay. So, Yeah, there's not a lot of good to pull out of this.
Yeah, I'm there with you. This movie gets an F. Does not make a passing grade.
I think I'd give it a D.
All right.
Me personally, you can still give it an F, Marshall. I'm not. I don't know what kind of grading scale you're using, but that's fine. I'm not gonna argue with you.
So bad, scary. Pretty much everything you said, it was very disappointing, and I think the worst thing you said, like you said, it was boring. It just nothing ever really catches, kind of hooks you and pulls you in. Like I said, the characters are bland. Who cares? There's no single character that you're like, I actually found myself like getting behind or rooting for. They're just, they're useless. There's just no real personality to them. No, you don't care. The kills overall were really weak and unimaginative, I think. Granted, you only have so much special effects budget to do.
Yeah, and it's being an indie, sometimes it's tough, but I did appreciate. That's, I guess, another thing I could point out for good is I appreciate the effort with the eyeball kills or some of the stabs were some of them were way messier than others. So but there was no consistency. It seems like you either had some pretty decent ones or some real stinkers.
I hated the lighting choice. I think it failed. It was just more confusing and, like I said, just distracting than pulling me in or doing anything with it. I had, when I first learned about this movie, the name and the premise, like, could be kind of interesting. I actually kind of had higher hopes for this. I thought it'd be more fun and enjoyable, but yeah, this just was not worth it. And unfortunately, I forgot to say, but you can find it on Prime. I normally I should say, but that's the only place you can find it right now is on Amazon Prime, and it's not free.
Yeah,
it's a rental, so you have to actually rent. And I would say right now, it's not even worth the $4 rental right now, in my opinion. Like, I wouldn't watch it again.
No, I wouldn't watch it again either. Yeah, it was weird. I have Roku, and you do too, right?
Yeah, one of our TVs.
Okay,
Roku,
so I did the universal search on Roku, and it didn't pop up. So I was kind of starting to get worried. I was like, "Oh shit, does this get pulled off of Amazon?" But if you go to the Amazon app itself, I searched it there and I found it. But yeah, so if you have Roku, it might be kind of hard to find. You got to actually go to the Amazon app and open it up there. But when I did the Roku search and it was open on some other site and it's free, and it was like indie, I think I've never heard of, and I don't remember. It was indie something, but it was basically indie films. And it's this unknown app I've never heard of.
Yeah, I've never. And when you normally when I search the movies and in Google, it'll say like, here's all the available options, and that didn't even come up from me. It was just Prime.
Not even on Tubi. Now it's new, so maybe it'll drop on Tubi.
It's 2 years old. It's not. I mean,
well, I even saw on IMDb or Amazon, one of the two, even said 2021. Some of them said 2000. I saw it as 2021 also.
All mine first said 2020, but I don't know. Still, yeah, it's not worth it. I have more to say, but how the hell does Brinky Stevens supposed to get nominated for Best Actress when she speaks like 3 lines? Like, she barely speaks, and she's getting nominated for Best Actress in this movie. That tells you something about the rest of the quality of acting that everybody else who actually spoke wasn't. It's
a bullshit award, dude.
I'm sure
it's just somebody who wants to get her to their restaurant, her bar, to accept the award, so they can have people come and be like, "Oh, look, Brinky Stevens is here." That's my guess.
So yeah, I guess that's it. I'm sure I'll have more things to say about it as soon as we get off air. But I just don't care or talk anymore about this movie. I'm so disappointed in this one. It just was not a fun ride this week, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'd rather have in-school suspension.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so that's gonna do it for us, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for following. We love you. We'll be back soon with another episode. In the meantime, you know the business. You know the deal. Watch more horror movies, and remember to always keep it tight.